I swear I didn't mean for it to happen, Lena said, her voice shaking. You believe me, right? I stood by the window, watching the rain hit the glass. Tell me it's not true, Lena. Tell me you didn't leak those files. Her lips trembled. I had no choice. Mr. Grant threatened to fire me if the deal failed. You sent the files to a rival company, I said, my chest tightening. You betrayed the firm, Lena. You betrayed me. She grabbed my arm. Adrian, please. They're already investigating. If they find out it was me, I'm done. My career, my life, everything will be over. And what about mine? I asked, what happens to me if I take the fall? Tears rolled down her cheeks. You're stronger than I am. You can survive this. I can't. Her words cut deeper than any knife. You want me to lie for you? I just need you to protect me this one time, she whispered. You said you'd do anything for me. I laughed softly. Anything, yes? But I never thought you'd ask me to destroy myself.
Ow.
She pressed her forehead against my chest. Please, Adrian. You love me, don't you? I looked down at her, the woman I thought would never hurt me. I do, I said quietly. That's why this hurts so much. She sobbed harder. Then do it for us. For our future. Our future. The words tasted like poison. I wanted to walk away, but I couldn't. I loved her too much. So I nodded. Fine, I'll handle it. She looked up, relieved. You mean it? Yeah, I said. But don't make me regret it. Hours later, I sat in Mr. Grant's office, facing a table full of executives. My palms were sweating. Mr. Grant threw the printed emails on the desk. You're telling me this was you, Adrian? I swallowed. Yes, sir. It was me. Why? He barked. I forced myself to look straight at him. I made a bad call. I thought it would help us win the contract. He slammed his hand on the table. You jeopardized everything. Do you have any idea what this cost us? I know, I said softly, and I'm sorry. He turned to Lena, who sat silently beside him. You worked with him closely. Did you notice anything suspicious? She hesitated for a moment. Then she shook her head. No, sir. I didn't. That one sentence destroyed me, Mr. Grant sighed. You're fired, Adrian. Security will escort you out. Consider yourself blacklisted in this industry. I didn't speak. I didn't beg. I just stood, numb. As I turned to leave, I glanced at Lena. She wouldn't meet my eyes. Outside, Marcus caught up to me. Adrian, what the hell happened? I took the blame, I said flatly. He frowned. For who? I looked at him carefully. You already know. He didn't answer. That silence told me everything. The rain hit my face as I walked out of the building. My box of belongings felt heavier than it should have. I stopped under a streetlight, trying to breathe, but the air felt thick. I called her once. She didn't pick up. I texted, I did what you asked. It's done. No reply. I walked for hours. My shoes soaked through, my body numb. I ended up at the small cafe where we used to spend evenings laughing about the future. The lights inside were warm, but I stayed outside. I couldn't bear to see her there with him. My phone buzzed a message from Marcus. Don't contact Lena for a while. She's under pressure. Under pressure. I almost laughed. I stared at the reflection of my face in the cafe window. Tired eyes, wet hair. A man who'd just traded his life for someone else's lie. Guess I'm stronger than you, huh? I whispered to no one. The rain kept falling, loud and merciless. I wanted to scream, to curse her name, to make her feel what I was feeling, but I couldn't. I just stood there, watching people inside laugh, while I drowned outside in silence. When I finally reached home, Noah was waiting. Adrian, what happened? I dropped the box on the floor. I'm done. Fired. His eyes widened. Why, you didn't do anything wrong. I smiled bitterly. Didn't I? He stepped closer. This isn't you. Tell me what really happened. I shook my head. It doesn't matter anymore. He clenched his fists. You took the blame, didn't you? For her. I didn't answer. I didn't have to. Noah sighed, rubbing his face. She's not worth it, Adrian. She was, I whispered. At least, I thought she was. He put a hand on my shoulder. You'll regret this. I already do. That night, I sat alone in the dark, staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed again. A single message from Lena. Thank you. I owe you everything. I stared at it until the words blurred. Then I deleted the message. She owed me nothing. She'd already taken it all. As I turned off the light, I whispered to myself, love doesn't always end with goodbye. The room felt heavy, the silence louder than thunder. Sometimes, I said quietly, it ends with pretending you were never there. No company wants me, I muttered, staring at another rejection email. Noah leaned against the doorframe. You can't keep blaming yourself forever, Adrian. Not blaming myself, I said. I'm blaming the person who made me believe love meant sacrifice. Sighed. Lena. I looked up. Do you know anyone else who could ruin me this completely? He walked closer. She's not worth this pain. Tell that to my empty inbox, I said bitterly. Tell that to the people who won't even interview me because my name's tainted. Noah's voice softened. You loved her. You did what you thought was right. Right? I laughed. Right would have been telling the truth. Right would have been watching her fall instead of me. He didn't reply. The silence felt heavier than words. Weeks turned into months. My savings vanished faster than hope. Every morning I woke up thinking it was over. And every night I realized it'd waste. Then one afternoon, while scrolling aimlessly, I saw her Lena smiling on a business magazine cover. Rising star, the woman who redefined success. My stomach twisted. I turned on the TV just to prove it wasn't real. There she was again, confident, glowing, saying hard work never fails. I couldn't help it. I laughed, loudly, then harder. Until my laughter turned into something like choking, Noah ran in. What's so funny? Hard work never fails, I repeated. Guess lying does, though, he frowned. Turn that off, man. Stared at the screen. She looks happy, doesn't she? She looks fake, he said. I shook my head. No, she looks like someone who won. That night, Marcus called. His voice was casual, too casual. Hey, man. Been a while. I gripped the phone. What do you want, Marcus? Just checking in. How are you holding up? Fantastic, I said. No job, no future, plenty of free time. He hesitated. Listen, don't freak out, but I've been seeing Lena. The words hung there like smoke. You what? It just happened. After everything that went down, she needed someone. I was there, closed my eyes. You were always there, weren't you? Even when I wasn't supposed to see it. Don't do that, he said quickly. It wasn't like that. How long? He exhaled. A few months. I laughed quietly. So while I was falling apart, you were helping her rebuild. Adrian, she's changed. She'll stop, I said sharply. You don't need to justify it. You did what you do best, stood by the winning side. Come on, man. Don't be like this. Like what? I said, honest. He sighed. You'll understand someday. I hope I don't, I whispered and hung up. The apartment felt smaller after that. I sat on the couch, scrolling through social media. Photos of them flooded my feed. Lena in his arms, smiling like she never knew pain. One caption read, "Found peace in unexpected places." I threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall, cracked, and fell silent. Noah rushed in. What happened? Peace, I said flatly. I found it too in broken glass. He looked down at the shattered phone. You're torturing yourself. I just wanted to see if she missed me, I said. Turns out, she replaced me. Noah sat beside me. You don't need her to feel complete. I stared at the ceiling. Then why do I still feel like half a man? He didn't answer. Days bled together. I started writing in a cheap notebook, the kind I used to sketch business ideas in. Now it was filled with pain instead of plans. Entry 1. I wonder if she ever thinks about what she did. Entry 2. Maybe she's too busy enjoying the life I gave her. Entry 3. I don't hate her. I hate that I still love her. Every word hurt, but it helped. Each page felt like bleeding out a little poison. One night, Noah came home to find me staring at an old photo, me and Lena laughing at the beach. He frowned. Why do you keep that? Because it reminds me I wasn't always this, I said. This broken? This cold, I corrected. He sat beside me quietly. You'll heal. I shook my head. No, people like me don't heal. We harden. Later that night, I stood on the balcony, feeling the wind against my face. The city lights looked distant, like a world that no longer belonged to me. I whispered to myself, she's living in heaven while I rot in hell. A part of me wanted her to feel what I felt, the nights without sleep, the ache that doesn't fade. But another part just wanted to stop hurting. I opened my notebook again and wrote, maybe I was meant to be broken so one day I'd stop breaking for others. Noah's voice came from the doorway. You writing again? Yeah, I said. Just a promise to who? To myself, I answered. He nodded. Good, keep it. I looked at the city one last time before closing the notebook. If love can destroy me, I whispered, then pain will rebuild me. And for the first time in months, I felt something like peace. Not because I'd moved on, but because I finally knew where to start. Adrian Cole, the manager, read from my fake ID, squinting. You've got experience? I forced a smile. Enough to balance your books and stay invisible, he shrugged. Fine. You start Monday. Don't expect much pay. I don't expect anything, I said quietly. Not anymore. That was years ago. Back then, I worked under a dozen names. Janitor, clerk, analyst. Each one was another mask. Each one bought me time to learn. Evelyn Ross was the only one who ever looked past the masks. She was small, sharp-eyed, and calm in ways that disarmed people. One evening, she noticed the scars on my knuckles. You fight often? She asked, half smiling. Only with myself, I said. She nodded. You sound like someone who's lost too much. Maybe, I replied, but loss teaches faster than success. She leaned closer. Then maybe it's time you use what you learned. I frowned. To do what? Start over? To rise, she said simply. You're not finished, Adrian. You're just buried. But even buried seeds grow. Those words hit me harder than I expected. I didn't know it then, but that single sentence would ignite everything that came next. Months turned into years. Evelyn became my constant, quiet but fierce. I built a small consulting firm from my apartment's kitchen table. She handled clients, I handled numbers. You think people will trust us? She asked once. They won't have to, I said. They'll trust the results. And they did. Slowly, contracts came in. Small businesses first, then mid-level corporations. I spent nights awake, building models, studying markets, predicting patterns. Every email, every payment, every success. It wasn't joy I felt. It was quiet vengeance. One afternoon, Evelyn placed a folder on my desk. Congratulations, boss. We just landed the L&V contract. I froze. L&V, the same firm Lena had joined after destroying me? You okay? She asked. Fine, I said, forcing calm. Just poetic. She smiled. You sound like a man getting his throne back. No, I said. Just reclaiming the ashes. 5 years after I'd vanished, people started whispering my name again. Adrian Cole, they said. Not as a scandal, as a success. The same investors who'd laughed at me now called for meetings. Reporters wanted quotes. Former bosses wanted partnerships. Evelyn watched me sign another contract and said softly, You've changed. I had to, I replied. Kindness doesn't build empires. Calculations do. She studied me for a moment. You're colder. Cold doesn't burn, I said. Then one morning I received a sealed envelope. The letterhead stopped me Nova Corp Holdings, the company that had ruined my life. Inside, Invitation Annual Corporate Gala. We'd be honored by your presence, Mr. Cole. My lips twitched. Honored, I whispered. Now they remember manners. Evelyn read over my shoulder. Are you going? Oh, I'm not just going, I said. I'm arriving. She raised an eyebrow. You sound like a villain. Maybe I am, I said with a small smile. But at least I built my villainy on truth. The night of the gala, I wore a black tailored suit. The mirror reflected a man I barely recognized. Sharper jawline, colder eyes. Posture like armor. Evelyn appeared in silver, elegant and poised. You look like you own the place, she said. I might, I replied. By the end of tonight, as we entered the grand hall, music played softly and conversations melted into murmurs. Crystal lights glimmered above, too bright. To fake, I caught glimpses of faces from the past executives who once ignored my calls. Managers who'd whispered lies behind my back. Then I saw her, Lena. She stood near the bar, holding a glass of champagne, her confidence wrapped in red silk. Time didn't touch her. Only guilt did. I could see it in her eyes the moment she spotted me. Her lips parted. Adrian. I smiled lightly. Vice President Lena Hart, I greeted. Congratulations. Her voice trembled. You're alive? I finished. Surprised? I didn't think clearly, I said. But you should have. Evelyn joined us, her presence deliberate. Mr. Cole, the board's waiting.
Oh.
Lena blinked. Mr. Cole? I turned to her. That's right. The company you're celebrating tonight, Cole Dynamics, just signed a partnership with yours. Her glass slipped slightly. You own Cole Dynamics? Built it, I corrected. From the ruins you left behind. Her throat tightened. Why didn't you ever reach out? I smiled faintly. Because some ghosts prefer walking into the room rather than haunting it. She whispered, You hate me. I met her gaze, steady and unshaken. No, Lena, I outgrew you. Evelyn tugged my sleeve. They're waiting, Adrian. I nodded and walked away, feeling Lena's stare burn into my back. As I stepped onto the stage, applause filled the hall. Cameras flashed. For once, I didn't hide. Ladies and gentlemen, I began, partnerships are built on trust, resilience, and time. Some of us learn that the hard way. Lena lowered her eyes. I didn't need revenge. Her silence was enough. When the speech ended, Evelyn leaned close. How do you feel? Free, I said, and colder than ever. She smiled faintly. Cold looks good on you. I exhaled slowly, watching Lena fade into the crowd. For the first time, she looked small, and I was everything she once thought I'd never be. The truth doesn't knock. It crawls in when the lies finally collapse. I was reviewing quarterly reports when my phone buzzed. Unknown number, Mr. Cole. A voice said, This is Daniel Pierce. I'm a journalist. Congratulations, I replied dryly. You've joined the long list of people who want something from me. I think you'll want this one too, he said. It's about NovaCorp and Lena Hart. The chest tightened. You've got 10 seconds. I found internal records, deleted messages, payment trails. The data leak from 5 years ago, it wasn't you. It was Lena and Marcus. I stayed silent. The only sound was the ticking clock on my desk. You have proof? I asked finally. He chuckled. Enough to turn her world upside down. Would you like to see it? I exhaled slowly. Send it. 5 minutes later, my inbox lit up with files, timestamps, conversations, fake accounts, money transfers. Every lie she told had a paper trail now. Daniel called again. You could bury her with this. I don't bury people, I said quietly. I just stopped covering their graves. A week later, the story broke. Vice President Lena Hart linked to corporate fraud and data manipulation. News outlets screamed her name like it was oxygen. Social media exploded. Everyone wanted her downfall to trend. Evelyn burst into my office, eyes wide. Did you do this? I looked up from my computer. No, the truth did. She frowned. You didn't stop it either, would you? I asked. She sighed. Probably not. We didn't talk for a while after that. Some silences don't need filling. 3 days later, the inevitable happened. Lena showed up. My secretary's voice trembled through the intercom. "Sir, there's someone here to see you." "Who?" A pause. "Lena Hart." I leaned back in my chair. "Send her in." The door opened slowly. She looked nothing like the woman I remembered. Hair messy, makeup smudged, her red suit replaced with something gray and lifeless. "Adrian?" she whispered. "Please." I studied her, the same trembling lips, the same voice that once begged me to lie. "Please, what?" I asked calmly. She closed the door and stepped forward. "I made a mistake. I never wanted it to go this far. You have to believe me." "I believed you once," I said, "and it cost me everything." Tears welled up. "I didn't mean to ruin your life. You didn't mean to," I repeated. "You stood there while they fired me? You watched me drown in shame, and you walked away dry." Her voice cracked. I was scared. "So was I," I said. "But I didn't destroy anyone to save myself." She took another step, desperate. "Adrian, please, tell them it wasn't me. I can't lose everything. You already have." Her face twisted in pain. "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" I leaned forward, meeting her eyes. "No. You think I wanted this? You think I waited years for revenge?" "No, Lena. I waited for peace. The truth just came as a bonus." She collapsed into the chair across from me, sobbing. "I loved you." "No," I said softly. "You loved what I could give you. Loyalty. Silence. A shield." She looked up, eyes red. "I'm begging you. Help me fix this." I almost laughed. "You want me to clean your mess again? The last time I did that, I ended up unemployed and broken. This time, you can handle your own fire." She reached out, grabbing my wrist. "Please, don't walk away from me." I looked down at her hand, trembling, desperate, and slowly pulled away. "You walked away first, remember?" Her body shook as she fell to her knees. "I can't lose everything." I stood, buttoning my coat. "Now you know how it feels." "Shh." She cried harder. "You're not this cold, Adrian. You can't be." "I wasn't," I said. "You taught me how." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Do you hate me?" I paused by the door. "No, hating you would mean I still care." She buried her face in her hands, sobbing quietly. I watched her for a moment. Not out of cruelty, but closure. For years I'd imagined what I'd say if she ever apologized. I thought I'd feel satisfaction. But standing there, all I felt was tired. "Goodbye, Lena," I said softly. "Adrian," I turned the knob. "Don't." Her voice broke. "Please." But I didn't look back. I walked out, my steps echoing against marble floors that once felt like hell. Evelyn was waiting near the elevator. "You okay?" she asked. "I don't know," I admitted. "But I'm done." "Was it worth it?" I thought for a moment. "No, but it was necessary." She nodded. The truth always costs something. The elevator doors opened and I stepped in as they closed. I caught one last glimpse of Lena through the glass wall, crumpled, broken, human again. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Then I remembered the nights I couldn't sleep. The mornings I woke up choking on regret. The years I spent trying to rebuild from ashes. No, I didn't feel sorry. I felt free, and that was enough. A month passed in quiet waves. No calls, no visits. Just silence, the kind that doesn't hurt anymore, just hums. Then, one morning, I found an envelope on my desk. No sender name, just my own written in trembling handwriting. I knew before opening it who it was from. Inside was a single letter. "Adrian, I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know I can't sleep. I see your face every time I close my eyes. I wish I had stood beside you that day. I wish I had been brave. I still love you." Lena, I read it once. Then again, and then I folded it neatly and placed it in the drawer. No reply. No words left to give. Some things don't deserve answers. That evening, I stood on the balcony of my apartment, the city glowing beneath the fading sun. The kind of sunset that makes the sky look like it's healing. Evelyn stepped beside me, holding 2 cups of coffee. "You've been quiet," she said. "Just thinking," I murmured. "About her?" I smiled faintly. "Not really. More about what comes after her." She leaned on the railing. "You look peaceful." "I finally am." "What changed?" she asked softly. "I realized," I said, watching the light fade, "the best revenge isn't making them pay. It's living a life they can't reach." Evelyn studied me for a moment. "You sound like someone who's done fighting." "I am," I said. "I spent years burning myself to prove something. Now, I'd rather shine quietly." She smiled. "That sounds like peace. It feels like it." A week later, I got a message from her assistant. "Lena wants to meet. Just one conversation." I hesitated, then typed back, "Tell her she has 10 minutes. We met at a small cafe downtown, the same one, where we used to plan our future once upon a time." She arrived late. Same perfume, same trembling hands, but none of the confidence she once wore like armor. "Adrian," she whispered when she saw me. I looked up from my coffee. "You have 9 minutes." Her eyes glistened. I didn't know where else to go. "You had plenty of places," I said. "You just ran out of lies." She flinched. "I'm not here to lie. I'm here to say sorry." I tilted my head. "Sorry doesn't change much, Lena." She reached for my hand. I didn't move. "I lost everything," she said. "My job, my friends, my name. Every night I ask myself why I did what I did." "Did you find an answer?" Her lips quivered. "Fear. I was scared. Scared of losing my career. Scared of being blamed. And I wasn't scared. I lost everything to Lena, but I didn't throw you to the wolves." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "If I could go back, I'd change everything." I smiled faintly. "If I could go back, I'd still take the blame, just so I could learn who you really are." She broke then, the kind of crying that makes your shoulders shake. The kind you can't hide behind pride. "Please," she said between sobs. "Don't hate me." I looked at her. This woman who once owned my heart. Now sitting across from me like a stranger, begging for pieces I no longer had. "I don't hate you," I said softly. "I just don't care anymore." Voice cracked. "You cared once." "I did," I admitted. "And it almost killed me." She reached out again, desperate. "Adrian, please." I stood up. "You're late, Lena. You should have begged when I still had something left to give." She froze. "Don't walk away." I looked down at her, tears staining her cheeks. "You walked away first." I left. Outside, the city lights flickered like stars trapped on Earth. The air was cold, but it didn't bite the way it used to. I leaned against the railing near the cafe, watching cars pass, strangers rushing somewhere, all of them carrying their own stories. Evelyn called. "How did it go?" She cried, I said. "And you?" I didn't. She was silent for a moment. "You sound lighter." "I am," I said. "It's strange. For years, I thought I needed closure from her. Turns out I just needed to stop reopening the wound." Evelyn chuckled softly. "That's growth, Mr. Cole." "Maybe," I said. "Or maybe it's just finally understanding pain has an expiration date." When the call ended, I took one last look at the cafe. Through the window, I saw Lena still sitting there, staring at the empty chair across from her. For the first time, I didn't feel anger or sadness, just distance. I whispered to myself. I took the blame once, but now I own the story. The wind carried my words into the night, soft but certain. And for the first time since everything began, my heart didn't ache. It just felt free.